All right, good afternoon and welcome to Ivy Madness. Right now we're excited to be joined by the Yale Bulldogs. Joining us is head coach James Jones, along with August Mahoney and Matt Noling. We'll start with opening comments from Coach, then move into questions from the media. If you have a question, please raise your hand and we'll bring a microphone over to you. Please state your name and affiliation prior to asking your question. All right, Coach, we'll open it up to you.
Well, thank you. We're obviously excited and happy to be back again. This is a tremendous tournament. It's great for our conference and our league. And last year we were here and didn't finish off as well as we would have liked to. And now we have another opportunity. So we're, again, excited for that. And I like our group. I like our team. And I feel that if we come out and play well, we have a good chance of being successful. So we're going to try to do that. And again, these two seniors here, it's their last go around. And we want to try to put them out on the highest note possible.
Jonathan?
Jonathan Tannenwald of the Philadelphia Inquirer. I can't knock the hat in this town.
I'm sorry, you said, I didn't hear the
I can't knock the hat.
You can't knock it?
Not here.
Well,
We're in New York, you know.
One should not.
Well, when I was up in New Haven earlier this season, you said this was, you thought, maybe the best Yale team you've ever had. You still think it at this point? And if so, what does that say about what this team can do?
I think that we're as talented as group as I've ever had in the starting lineup. These five seniors I have are really good. And there are times in which I see the best team that I've ever coached, and there are times that I don't see that. So hopefully we'll be the one that the former as opposed to the latter this weekend.
Right there in front.
Matt, as Coach mentioned, this is your last go-around. Can you kind of put a perspective on your time at Yale and how you think you've grown, what you think you've accomplished, and what you're going to take with you for the rest of your life from this time?
Yeah, for sure. The time has flown by. It's crazy to say this is my senior year in playing the Ivy tournament as a senior. To think, my freshman year got canceled because of COVID. Just using that year to learn, kind of be around the coaches a little bit, get used to Yale a little bit. Then sophomore year, coming off the bench to start, and then earning a starting role for the Ivy League season. It's just flown by, and I've learned from every game, every practice, and it's been great. So just trying to, finish it on a high note here with the end of with this Ivy League tournament here, and and on a high note.
Steve?
Steve Silverman, Ivy Hoops Online. Coach, it's almost a cliche that you want to be playing your best basketball in March, but is Yale playing its best basketball in March so far?
Oh, God, what is our record in March? I know we lost our last game, and we had played pretty well that last home weekend that we had. So we're playing some pretty good basketball. And again, I think that we have a really talented team. And if you look at the metrics, our team is metrically the best offense and the best defensive team in the league by KenPom, and percentage points tied with Princeton. So I feel really good about us. But again, it's like how the ball bounces, how the game's officiated, and all that. But again, I like our chances. I like our group of guys, and I would suspect that the three other coaches that have come up here and talk to you guys are going to say the same thing. They feel really good about their teams, and that's why we play the games, to see what it's going to look like when they're done.
Jesse
Doherty from the Washington Post. James, there's been a lot of talk about expanding the tournament beyond 68 teams. I know that affects conferences in a lot of different ways depending where you are. How do you feel maybe just about that possibility in the future?
Well, we were coming over the bridge today, and one of my assistant coaches, Brandon Sherrod, was videotaping the bus as it traveled over the George Washington Bridge. And I thought to myself, what a great experience all this is for our guys. And, you certainly would love for the other student athletes to have an opportunity to experience the same thing. I understand, and there's another part of me, I think that earning it to get here is important too. I like that fact. So, it's 6 and 1.5 dozen and other in terms of what's best, but I do see that, having everybody have this experience and to go through this, there's a lot of logistics and a lot of things over my pay grade But this is a tremendous experience for everybody. I've enjoyed it. And I was asked a bit ago about the Ivy tournament. And when I first got to the league, I fought for it like tooth and nail. And that's because our basketball program was one of the in the middle of the league, and it would have just given us another chance to get to the NCAA tournament. And now, for the last, I don't know how many years we've been 1 or 2, so I don't like it as much because it's another opportunity to go out and win. But I'll tell you what, we won the championship at Yale, and the experience that we had was nothing short of brilliance, and I wouldn't want to take that away from my student athletes. And the same thing when we won it at Harvard. I wouldn't want to. I showed the guys a video of us in the locker room, or them in the locker room after we won that championship. So that experience you wouldn't want to take away. So this is something that's necessary and great, and I'm happy we have it.
And then with the vote that happened at Dartmouth recently for them to form a union, have you talked to your players at all about that, just from an education standpoint, just because it's been a kind of major topic in the league? And I don't know, has that been a conversation at all?
No, I'm too busy trying to make sure we rebound and defend and share the ball, and we haven't had any conversation about it at all.
And Matt, and just for you guys in that regard with Dartmouth, have you all just sought out any information just to learn about it? I know Coach just said you guys maybe haven't talked about it as a team, but has that been something on your mind at all?
No, not at all. We've been trying to focus on Yale basketball and focus on our group. You definitely see it in social media and whatnot when you're scrolling through your apps and stuff. But for us, we're just trying to focus on our team and just try and keep that distraction away from us.
Rob?
Rob Brown, Ivy Hoops Online. This is for Matt and August. Cornell's kind of a unique team in this conference. What's it like playing against them? And based on your experiences, is it better with an up-tempo team like that, the first day of the back-to-back or the second?
I mean, yeah, Cornell has a very hectic style of play. They play very fast. They pick up full court. So it's definitely different, especially the Ivy League basketball mold where you want to kind of slow the tempo down and have great offensive possessions. But it gives us opportunities also, the way they play. And to answer your question about the first back-to-back, I mean, this is the point in the season where none of that matters. You're gonna play 40 minutes the first game and hopefully 40 minutes the second game, and fatigue can't be an issue. You just got to play through that, and so we don't think about it like that. We just got to play 40 minutes as hard as we can.
Hi, Levitt Cabas from Sportico. This is for Coach. The conference in the past couple of years has been potentially as strong as it's been in a long time. What are some reasons that you think that the conference is as strong as it is? There's as many teams contending for a tournament spot as there have been.
Yeah, I think we have great coaches in this league, and I think we do a really good job. And the brand that we have in the Ivy League is really pretty good. The opportunities that our student athletes have when they graduate are tremendous. And I think that it's just become more apparent on the recruiting trails to go out and find them. And then I think our coaches do a really good job at putting kids in the right place at being successful. So, because of the way the metrics go, it's almost impossible for one of our teams to get a at-large bid because of the metrics, but that doesn't mean we're not good enough. Right? So that's something that's, that's a sandwich I have to eat that doesn't taste too well.
We have time for one more. We'll go Jonathan. We'll do Ben and then Jonathan.
So hi, Ben Rabb with the Yale Daily News. Can you talk about some of the trouble you've had at times scheduling with teams in order to sort of appeal to those metrics? Yeah,
so what Ben is just piggybacking is the fact that we don't get any quad one games in our building. So it's not like anybody from the Big East who's a quad one team is going to play us at Yale. We have to go play that game on the road, and the odds of winning those games are tough. We played Gonzaga, who was a quad one, and we played Kansas, who was a quad one on the road, and we had 2 really good games with them, and we had 15-point leads in both of those games. We didn't win, but winning at Kansas is like it takes an act of Congress to get that done. So that being said, trying to schedule those games are very difficult for us. Scheduling period, as of right now, I don't know that we had UIC as a non-conference game. I don't think that we have any non-conference games scheduled next year. And when I first got the job at Yale, I was done with scheduling And I did it all by myself in December before the following year. And like, as of right now, I don't know that we have one non-conference game scheduled. So it's not easy. So if you want the job, Ben, let me know. We can hire you and see if you can fill our schedule.
Build a New Haven Arena downtown. That would
Say it again?
bring back the old New Haven Arena, right?
Well, that was torn down, so we'd have to erect a new statue.
There is a lot going on beyond the court in the league at the moment, as much as everybody who sits at that podium would want to focus on practice and getting ready for the tournament, et cetera. Do you feel that this moment is different for the league, or could become different for the league with everything that's going on, as I said, beyond the court at the moment?
Do you want to get specific in terms of what you're referring to?
NIL stuff that everybody's talking about,
Yeah.
the lawsuit, the Dartmouth thing, everything that's going on, all of that stuff. It feels different at the moment for the league maybe than it has in the past.
Well, I guess one would feel that, you know. I don't anticipate any pain, so I don't try to think about stuff that I can't control. So for me personally, you know, what's going to be is what's going to be, and I'll just have to figure out a way to be successful around it. That's the way I kind of like go my day by day. But I would suspect that what you're saying is true. I think on the outside, you know, there was an article that was written, and it mentioned the kid from Harvard, and it mentioned Danny, and you know, so you know, those things are out there. Those things are out there, and I'm sure there's conversations, but it hasn't affected me or affected us directly yet. You know, Jordan Dingle leaves and he goes to St. John's, so that was a loss in our league. I think our league would have been better if Jordan Dingle was in our league. If we lose any of these other players, it won't be as good. But there'll be somebody else to replace them.
All right, thanks, guys.